Hi, friends. Good morning.
Good morning. I am hitting the record button so that we have this saved for our other ladies who can't make the call and submitted some questions and all that good stuff. I need to get this set up. This is not my normal spot, but today I felt like being really, really cozy and just making like a pillow fortress for myself. Yeah, I feel like it's so important, and we'll start and we'll do intentions, we'll do everything before we really start. But I just want to say that I think it's really, really important that we always listen to our bodies as like the barometer of what to do next and where to go next. Like our bodies are communicating with us, they're communicating with our soul, they're communicating with nature, they're synced up with nature, and we're experiencing so much right now. And Cassidy, I want to just acknowledge you and thank you for sharing your perspective on everything, because like I truly believe that the more that you share about what you're experiencing, the more we can never understand what it's like, but we can elevate ourselves and do our own inner work around it. So Cassidy, I just want to acknowledge you and let you know that you are super supported and super held in this space. And then we got Tammy here too. And Tammy, you've been trucking right along with everything, and it's been just amazing to watch your experiences and watch your journey and see the inner work you're doing. And I'm really proud of everybody, like Tammy, Cassidy, like everybody who's watching this on the replay. I'm really proud of all of you, because the inner work is so needed right now. It is so needed. And we're here doing it, and it changes our bodies, and it helps us feel healthier and better and more energized and everything body related. But what we're doing essentially shifts and changes everything about our energy and the energy we bring to the world. And the better the energy we bring to the world, the more the world can evolve, which is definitely, now I'm like kind of like I'm going down a rabbit hole, but I think it's an important rabbit hole to go down, that the more that we do this inner work, like I truly believe that the world is elevating so fast lately, because we as a society, not everybody, but like a really large amount of people are stepping up to do inner work and to work on themselves. So like the planet is going like, yeah, well, there's a complete incongruency about how this planet is operating versus how many people are showing up to do this inner work. So we got to even it out, and it's time to shake out all the things that never served us but are still for some reason lingering, like racism, like I mean, it definitely, it's something that I'm shocked has taken us as long as it has, but because we are where we are now, I'm so grateful that it's happened and is happening with our entire planet. Like anybody who hasn't made the decision to look at everybody equally. So anything anybody would like to say in this moment about that before we even start on specific weight loss stuff or talk about anything else? Because the floor is here, and as I always say, like everything that's happening in our lives, anything that triggers us, anything that we feel emotional about, that's what this weight loss, but healthy body thing is all about. It's about addressing emotions. So if anybody does, just unmute yourself and feel free to. The floor is yours.
Hi, friends.
Hi, Steve.
So I completely agree with how you're just saying, like the emotions. Obviously, we have learned like everything lingers and it can cause things in our body, and I think that's just what I've been going through personally, like this week. Just there's been so much like rage and so much hurt that surfaced that was suppressed for so long. And then there's also now like this level, I feel like the conversation, at least like in my circles, is like shifting. And ironically, like people are like now trying to shame the Black community for their holy rage. Like it's so warranted. And so now that's kind of where like my energy is like feeling really icky in my body.
Yeah.
yeah, I think there's just a lot of like hypocrisy going on right now. People don't really see that. How like telling other people how to express their grief and their rage is like, and then also saying, but don't shame me for like not saying anything. Like it's just so twisted. And I think ultimately, like above everything, like the most important thing is that we just be patient with each other, because I think that the darkness wants us to be focusing on each other and what we are doing wrong, instead of what is actually wrong, which is like us versus these systems that need to go. So yeah, I think the conversation is shifting, and I think it will, get through this muck. But I think just in general, I think the most important thing is just like not take anything personally right now, and just checking in with ourselves before we share with other people. I think that's really important too, like knowing where you're speaking from. Like for me, like speaking out of wounded inner child earlier in the week like felt really icky. So that was like something that I really learned. But overall, like it's been very healing in my body. But I've also noticed like I have no appetite and like no energy either. So those things have also made me feel very disconnected from my body. But yeah, it's a very interesting and necessary time, but it is heavy.
Very, yeah. I'm glad that you're expressing and voicing everything that you're experiencing and feeling, because it has definitely taken like different waves of like all kinds of different things happening. And it's like,
Yeah.
Initially it's about, hey, let's bring justice, let's bring equality, and then it turns into like a lot of white privilege coming up, like people being like, what about all of us? And then us being like, guys, let's we have something to address right now. Let's address this so it's not ever a thing again. Like, let's focus on it. Like, let's not take the focus away. And then it's just really, I can see what you're saying. It's been crescendoing into a lot of different things, which leads to a lot of different feelings and a lot of different emotions.
Yeah, it's just like a wave that like comes and goes.
Yeah. So your body has been feeling like it's just not even interested in food, or has
too, or just food? Not hungry, very thirsty, like
very thirsty. Okay.
So much water. But yeah, sleeping has been hard. We just got into our new place, like it was just our second night. I don't have internet yet, so I can't turn my camera on, otherwise it'll kick me in. I've been sleeping a lot better, so I know that like the healing is working. But yeah, food is just like, it's like almost nauseating right now.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I do feel very bloated too.
Yeah. The bloated thing is definitely related to like holding a lot in the body, like a lot of emotions, a lot of feelings, a lot of things. I've noticed in my own experience with bloating over the course of my life, like bloating is interesting because it's that thing where all of a sudden I could feel like I'm like 10, 15 pounds heavier. And then in like a day, in like an hour, I feel like a different person. And that's because it's like, the body is actually like holding, like, it's like more like quick protection. Like fat is like long lasting protection, or can be. The bloating is like, oh my gosh, something came on really suddenly, like protect.
That makes so much sense.
Yeah. So with the bloating coming up, just the first thing I would say is don't judge the bloat. Just have grace on it and be as gentle and kind as you possibly can, to know that like it is a protective mechanism. It is trying to help you. It's just sometimes I think of like the body as like just doing what the mind or the soul tells it to do. So if the soul has been suppressed, the mind takes over, and the mind is like, we're in a weird state. We're in a different state. We're in an unusual state. Like something different's happening. Something's coming at me. I feel attacked. Like it's like, boom, put on some protection fast. So we have to, in those circumstances, drop back into the soul and let the soul speak and be like, okay, mind, like I know you're trying to help, but like you don't really know how to help me. The soul can come through and be like, what I really need to do is express. I need to feel, I need to be seen, I need to be heard, I need to feel valid, I need to feel loved, I need to feel safe. Like, and then it's like, how can I give that to myself? And how can I also ask for that from others?
Okay, amazing. That makes so much sense and really, really resonates. Thank you.
You're welcome. And I would say another thing that's really important too is know that you are very worthy and very deserving of extra support.
Yeah.
Always, but especially right now. Like it's like 1,000,000% valid for you to reach out to friends, to us in the group, to family, and be like, I need extra support. Like, I just do. Like, and it's okay for me to ask. Sometimes it's so hard for us to ask for extra support because they're like, oh, these other people are going through this and they're experiencing that. But it's allowed. We're allowed to have our moments. We're allowed to have
Yeah.
our time when it's about us, and that can be the hardest thing to ask for a lot. And I think the reason it's so hard to ask for is our brains will tell us that if I ask for support, it's like, everybody drop everything and just give me all your stuff and like, don't take care of yourselves. But what ends up really happening when we do that, because it happens so frequently because we talk ourselves out of it so much by that theory right there, that when it does actually happen, we do actually ask for support, we feel so taken care of and so good that we can quickly be like, thanks guys, like go ahead back to whatever you needed to do. And people don't have to drop every single thing, but something I've learned in the process is just asking for somebody to tell me I've got this. Like, I'll literally text my girlfriends and be like, I'm having a day, or I'm having a morning, or I'm having a week, and can you guys just say you've got this, Steph? And literally hearing you've got this just allows me to be at ease, where in the past I might have thought somebody supporting me looks like them driving over and bringing wine and a whole night dedicated to it, or a whole day, and where those things are so awesome and needed at times. Most times I don't need that. I just need a girlfriend to say, you've got this, and me be like, okay, I do. Okay, I've got this. Sometimes we just need a friend. So
Yeah,
what I'm
that makes so
saying
much
is,
sense.
Cassidy, especially in the position you're in right now, it's okay to ask for extra support, if that's at all question.
That makes so much, like, it resonates. I think that's also like in a way been triggering because I have like dealt with these things like in a more shadowy way, like just kind of suppressing them, because I mean I've had conversations with friends where I had tried to like talk about, experience that happened to me, and I was met with racism isn't alive, not in California, not here. And so I think there's just been this like subconscious, like, I'm just never going to talk about this to people who like can't understand, because it's so painful to feel that like that silencing. So I think just like having all these things rise up, and a lot of it does have to do with like my body and the way that I grew up in a world, feeling like an alien and just like looking so different from everyone. So all of this stuff is like rising up, and then there are these groups of people like you who are being an ally and like willing to listen, and I've like, it's almost like I'm not used to having that much support. So on one hand, like, it's been very triggering and really hard, but it's also been very, very healing, because it's like I just feel like I can like breathe a little. It's like, yeah, like these are my experiences. I've had terrifying experiences with racism. Like, it is something that I didn't even realize like consciously that I was holding like in my body. So yeah, it's like rising up, and I'm able to like sift through it now, and like, yeah, just kind of like work through it. But yeah, it's also like a challenge of like getting used to people's support in this area.
Yeah, definitely. I can imagine. Um, a couple of different things that you said, like the concept of women and the feminine is some of our most important needs to feel safe and provided for, is to feel heard and to be acknowledged. And like, as you're describing that experience, I like what comes up for me is like you didn't feel heard and you didn't feel acknowledged. You were saying like, hey, like this didn't feel right to me. Like something feels like super off with this, and you were met with like, we're not acknowledging that. Like it's, I hear you, but I don't hear you in the way that you want to be heard. There's like a huge difference between someone saying I hear you and somebody hearing you in a way that you feel it. So those are two huge things. And the other thing that came up for me when you were saying that is that, you know, there's a lot of things in our lives that when we've had somebody over, or we've had many people, or just a culture or society over and over and over say, it's not a big deal, it's not a big deal, it's not a big deal, then it's like we go into a certain like survival state where we're just like, okay, it's not a big deal. Although I feel this, again, going back to like, how does the body feel? Like our body feels it. We feel off. Like we know that feeling when it's just like, this isn't right. Like this isn't how it's supposed to be. So you have had like years and years and years of, and this is like, yeah, this is a huge thing. You've had years and years and years of feeling like I can't talk about it. It's not a big thing. I'm conditioned that it isn't even anything at all. But inside my body feels something. And that denial of the body and the denial of the feelings is really very painful. It's very traumatic for a human because it's two things out of alignment. It's like we want to be aligned. We want to line up all of our stuff. But it's like this one's going this way and this one's going this way. And you can feel it.
Yeah. Totally.
It's big.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome. Yeah, you're very welcome. And it's one of the things I would suggest coming from like the body standpoint here, from like 2-week transformation standpoint, is really be with your body in this process. And if you are having a conversation with somebody and it just feels weird in your body, like let your body be the signal of something is needed here for you. Like, so in that moment, it's saying either I need to get out, like I choose to get out of this conversation, or I choose to speak something that I wouldn't normally speak, or I choose to seek support from other people. It's really important that you do that. Let your body be that guide.
Thank you so much. That really resonates.
You're welcome. That'll like definitely help with the bloating and everything too. I found myself very bloated this week as well, like very, very, very bloated. And just like my entire body felt like a little bit just painful.
Yeah, so like tender.
Yeah, very tender. Lots happening. So, you know, for anybody who's watching this replay, like there's 2 things that we can be taking from this, and Tammy as well being here. We've got 1, a deeper understanding of what our Black brothers and sisters are experiencing. 2, we have an understanding of the importance of checking in with our own bodies as well, because just every woman's body is so deeply connected with nature, and it will always tell us if something is off. And the issue is that we've been so trained to not listen to that voice, to that feeling inside of us. It's just like yeah, we'll deal with that later, or no, like this person said to do it this way, or this person said to do it like that. That's how we need to do it. And the silencing of the voice is the thing that makes it so hard for our bodies to be where we want them to be. It's all the times our body tried to speak to us. It's all the times our body tried to tell us the way, and tell us the path, and tell us what it needed, and tell us it needed rest, or tell us it needed love, or tell us it needed whatever. And we were just like, I can't right now. Like, save it for later, body. You know, if the body was a person, it's just, there's a lot of times when we've said, I'm not addressing it right now. Or there's also been so many times when we've said, I don't believe you, to our body. Like, I don't trust you. I don't believe you. Like, you're here to hurt me. You're not my friend. Like, and the body, it's just like a big misunderstanding because the body is our best friend. And like a little action step that I'd love for everybody to do after this call is to think about the relationship that you've had with your body, you know, and just like how you felt about your body when you were a kid, how you felt about your body when you were a teenager, how you felt about your body when you're going into puberty, how you felt about your body as it developed more and you became a young adult. How did you feel about your body as you, like all the different transitions in our lives, and like even like if you are a mother or have become a mother, like how did you treat your body when you had that experience? There's just so many different phases. And just to give a quick example of like what's been like really on my heart lately is the concept of us like rejecting our bodies. And that goes into what we're talking about, basically not listening to it when it's telling us something. And like for anybody who's watching this that has been feeling something in their body like this week, last week, this month, this year, like if you've been feeling something in your body and it feels off, it's an opportunity to do some journaling and just ask your body, what do you want? What do you need? What are you asking for? Because it might be saying, I want to speak up. I want to say something, you know? This is like, in my own experience, it's, I feel like I bloated so much this week because I felt like I had so much to say and I had so much inside of me, but I didn't know how to say it. And it's like something that my whole life I've felt equality in everything, like always. That was just the life experience I grew up in. And I've done my part, you know, in small ways as things happened in my life. But like once everything has come up this month, like it just, I felt so much in my body and so much inside of me of like all the times when I have had experiences with people being racist or people making shitty comments about other people for no reason other than they look different. And like, it's like bringing tears to my eyes right now, but it's like, it really was like a culmination of all things in my body of just being like sadness for the fact that we have this happening, like why it's even a thing, like how it could still even be a thing, like intensity of wanting to speak up for people if my voice can amplify something, like all these different things. And I'm giving this example because it was just a lot for my body, because there's just a lot of things happening. And I've multiple times, like every day I had to like sit down with my journal and be like, body, lead. Like, what do you need to say? What do we need to do? Like, what's the deal here? Like, what's going on? Like, I'm going to listen to you. And I just want to say that because I feel like, God, the whole year of 2020 has been like a lot of things to process, a lot of things to take action on, a lot of things to do work around, and a lot of things that are like luckily getting upgraded. But just so much is different than it's ever been. And I'm so grateful for that. I'm so grateful that we are no longer doing things the way we were doing them before. But it's reminiscent to me of like a woman's journey through inner work, my own journey through inner work, you know, like when we're processing something, it looks like not every time, but a lot of times there's something that is presented that's like, we can't keep going on with this belief. We can't keep going on thinking that this is crazy. How have we been doing this for like 20, 30 years? Like what? And then it goes into that like wavy up and down, like but there's this angle, and then there's that angle, and there's this one, and it's pretty messy. Like, it can get messy. Like, this process is allowed to be fun. It's allowed to be efficient if we want to choose for it to be, but we have to see that there's a period in between where it's just like, whoa, like all these different things like coming up at once, and all in all different ways and at all different angles. So I mean, as human beings, the best thing we can do is like practice, like just practice doing that, because sometimes I think, you know, we're taught that it's like, you know, there's waves in life of this, you know, maybe you you get your first job, and then get married, and you have kids, if that's like the life path somebody wants to take, but that's like the common, like, you know, whatever. And you know, you might have like things in between, but whatever. The way like life really looks is we're always growing, we're always evolving, we're always becoming better versions of ourselves. And if we're going to try and stop ourselves from doing that and limit that and keep it like held down, then it's going to get weird. It's going to get really weird. But what we can do is know that things, as we grow and evolve, it goes through a similar process where it's like, oh my God, now I have awareness and I see this thing, and whoa, look at that, and look at that, and look at that, and look at that, and oh my God. Like, sometimes when I'm doing my own inner work, I have moments where I just get disgusted, like absolutely disgusted, and I'm like, how, why, like, why have I done this to myself? Why have I been this mean to myself? When have I, whatever? And then I'm like, okay, it's okay. It's okay. Like, I'm valid to feel those feelings, and I'm letting myself feel those feelings, and they can come up. But can I choose to let it be a little bit more fun? Can I choose to let it be like more of an enjoyable process for myself? And I'm like, yeah, I actually can. And I still get angry when I think about blah, 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 or whatever. Like, for me, when I'm processing things, like something that still makes me angry that I haven't like, that I mean, I'm healing this all the time. And sometimes there'll be things that take longer to heal than others. But like going to Catholic school, like the things that they taught me and the programming that they conditioned me with at my specific school when I was like a young child and didn't know any better, like that still makes me really angry. And so it's like, when I go into that, I'm like, I'm feeling my feelings. Like, I feel the anger, I feel the whatever. I'm allowing that to happen. And I'm also asking myself in that moment, like, can I make this enjoyable as I process this? Like, this happened to me. It is a reality. And I'm not trying to make it pretend like it didn't happen. So since it did, how can I enjoy the process of elevating? And then I get an idea and something fun happens, and then like all this stuff. And I'm just telling you all this because I feel like it's the most relevant thing right now for our bodies, is making sure we understand that there are phases of life. And if we're just aware that there's going to be times when we feel sad, and there's going to be times when we feel emotional, and there's going to be times, side note, with our cycles, we as women, when we're in our cycle, there's literally seasons. There's 4 seasons of the cycle, and it goes one each week. So you have summer, spring, winter, and fall. And just like life, it's like a mini version of life every month. You have the season when you're bleeding and you're literally like, it's winter, and you want to be more like, you know, internal and like loving on yourself and like kind and gentle, and like, you know, in the wintertime we want to eat like more warming foods, like things that will keep our body feeling warm in the cold. And we want more hearty things, more comfort things, more like I always want to be more like wrapped in a blanket when I'm like bleeding, when I'm on my period. I just want to be in a blanket. There's other times, there's like the ovulation period where it's like summer, and it's like woo, I want to be outside and like I want to be seen and I want to be like doing things and hanging out with friends and all that stuff. And that's all just very, very similar to our life. You know, there's phases of our life when we're feeling like, yeah, like let's do it, all this stuff. And then there's other phases when we feel like wintry and like I'm going to retreat a little more. And one of the best things we can do is just not push ourselves against it. My period has gone from that time of month when I just had to push through the pain and just keep on going and like drink extra coffee and do extra things to be extra masculine and get it done. And it's gone to a place where it's like, if I need to lay in bed for the day, I'm just going to lay in bed for the day. And by just allowing myself to lay in bed for the day, I always have this moment where I get up and I'm like, I'm done laying in bed. And then I get like everything I would have gotten done in a day in an hour or like 30 minutes. And I'm like, okay. So it's like about the less we push ourselves to not feel what we're feeling, make sure I'm saying that right. The less we push ourselves to not feel the more we push ourselves to not feel what we're feeling, the more we'll make it hard on ourselves, the more we will challenge ourselves to not be us. And the body doesn't like that. So this whole thing is all about talking to the body, giving the body what it wants, giving the body what it likes, and treating the body like a best friend. Being like, actually, body, you're really smart. Actually, I love what you're about. Actually, I trust you. Actually, I'm going to check in with you first. Like, if I'm making like a business decision or a big life decision, I check in with my body. I didn't used to do that, but I check in with my body now. And I'm like, is this right? My body always gives me the answer. So I'm going to pull up, let's see. I know, I think Mary submitted a question. And Tammy, I definitely want to hear any questions that you have. Cassidy, any questions that might come up for you as well. Actually, let's set intentions and then we'll do that. We'll get into questions. So if you have a question, just either write it down or have it on your heart. So we'll just close our eyes together and get really comfortable where you are. And we're just going to take 3 inhales through the nose and out the mouth. We're going to inhale through the nose, thinking about all the things we want to bring into our life, all the good, the change we'd like to see in the world. And we're going to hold that at the top in the body. And then when we exhale, we're going to do a big, like audible, loud exhale out the mouth where we're literally just letting any stuck or stagnant energies that might be keeping us from that might be held in the body, just like releasing them out the mouth. So we're going to do that together, 3 breaths. So we're going to go in through the nose, just breathing in all the things you want, all the things you want to see in the world, all the things you want to see in your body, all the things you want to see in your family, your life. Hold it at the top. Give it a little like nice hold, like almost like you're holding someone you love. And then a deep audible exhale out, like everything that does not serve you. We're going to do that 2 more times. Inhale everything you want in through the nose. Hold it at the top. Loud exhale out the mouth. Send it all out. Then we're going to do another inhale through the nose. Breathing in all the good, all the things you want, all the amazing stuff. Hold it at the top. And one final, like any last lingering pieces of stuff that are left there, exhale out that mouth and send it out. Like even if it's like get it out. Allow that voice to be open, throat to be open. We're gonna do like just a quick body scan together. And before I do, I don't know if you guys can hear that, but I think Josh left his alarm on and went outside. So just keep your eyes closed and take a few more deep breaths. I'm gonna turn the alarm off. I'll be right back. Okay, so we're going to do a body scan together. We're going to start at the top of the head And we are going to send love to this area, send love to your brain. Let your brain know that you are grateful that it's supported you and protected you for so much of your life. Also let it know that you're going to be letting your soul lead. You're going to be letting your heart lead, and you'd love for your brain to get on board with that and support it and know that it's going to be safe to do that. We're going to come down to our eyes. Just relax your eyebrows if you're holding any tension there, and just thank your eyes for the ability to see such beautiful things, to experience so much, and even be able to see the not beautiful things so that you can bring an awareness to what needs to happen. Come down to your ears, your mouth, your throat, your jaw, this whole area. If you're holding any tension in the ears or the jaw, just let that release right now. It is safe to release that, and know that it is safe to open your throat, speak your voice, and let out who you truly are, knowing it is safe and it will be supported. And it's meant to be expressed. That's really what you're here on earth to do, is like express your unique viewpoints, express your unique self. We're also going to send love to this area because we've used the mouth, the throat, to stuff emotions down so many times. And we use it through food at times when we take food, and we literally stuff our mouths full of it so that our voice does not come out. You know, we try and like stuff up the whole like voice, throat chakra. So we just want to send all of the love to that, and let it know that it is safe to come out, and we support it and we nourish it and we're loving it. We're choosing to love it from this point forward. Come down to your shoulders, let your shoulders relax. Feel that nice. If you feel like you got the weight of the world on your shoulders, just let the weight of the world slip off, knowing that the world's got this, knowing the world is doing its part. Things are getting better and better every second of every day, and that you can support you, and that's the best work you can do, and you can stand for others. Coming down to your heart, sometimes we keep our heart caged up. We put a barrier around it, a block. If you're feeling any of that around your heart, just let that open and let it melt open, knowing it is safe, knowing you're coming from a different place now, knowing that you get to just having all of this knowledge that you've gotten is setting you up so that you are safer than you've ever been. Like, it might have felt like you needed to close it in the past because of past thought patterns and perceptions. Now is the time that it's safe to open it back up and let it flourish and let it like shine that energy out to the world. I'm going to come down to our stomachs. And if we're holding any extra like weight or bloating, fat in our stomach area, we want to let it know it's safe to release it now. Let it know that it is safe. When we wear extra weight around our stomachs, it's because it's kind of like we're wearing an inner tube, because we're trying to like float along with the current, float along with what everybody else is doing, and try and like not be seen or not make waves. So we're knowing it is safe to express our voice now, safe to open our heart now, and safe to release any like fat we have around our waist, because it is safe for us to like make those waves and be who we are and show up in this world exactly as we were born, who we were born as. And just let that weight dissolve. Envision it dissolving off of your waist. Envision it just being like, oh wow, like I don't need to be here anymore. I don't need to protect you anymore, because you feel safe to show yourself now. So okay, I will dissolve. And then you come down to your hips, thighs, butt. If you're holding any extra weight on this part of the body, that's because we are trying to appear strong, like we got it all together, when we feel like we don't, on the inside. And when we feel like we're at max capacity, like we can't even take anything else on because there's so much going on, that's when we wear extra weight on our hips and thighs and butt. And we just want to like go to that area and remind that area that we've got this. We can ask for support. We can ask for help. We're worthy and deserving of support and help. So we don't have to be at max capacity, so that we can actually have extra capacity to like do nice things for ourselves and do nice things for others and do all these things that we never thought we ever had time for before. We just allow that weight to release, and we let it know that it doesn't have to look strong on the outside. If we ever feel weak, it's safe to just show like we're having weak feelings, and other people are here to support us and love us, even though that's happening. Like other people want to, everybody's experienced that, so they want to help. So letting that weight just dissolve off your hips, thighs, and butt. If it's extra there that you don't want to carry with you into the future, just let that go. And then come down to your calves, your shins, and know that this part of the body can wear like really hard, heavy armor on it. When we are just holding on to extra things, it can store in this like one of the last parts of the body closest to the ground, and like kind of create this barrier for the energy of like the earth to come up through our feet into our bodies and like fill our whole body with like that natural earth energy that's so nourishing. So if we're like holding it so tight and like blocking things off at this area, then we just want to know it's safe to like open it up, unblock it, let it get less hard, remove any armor we might be wearing there. And if you want to like tap your body as we're doing this, you can, if that feels good. Like again, always just listen to your body. If your body's like, ooh, I want to just be like, doing this motion or whatever I'm feeling called to, tapping, that's fine. So all is welcome. And then finally, come down to the feet. Your feet have carried you everywhere you've been. Your feet have grounded you. Your feet give you balance and stability. And we just want to thank the feet and honor the feet and let our entire body know that from this point forward, we choose to have a relationship with it. We choose to hear it. We choose to listen to it. We remember that the body is feminine, and the feminine loves to be heard. The feminine loves to be acknowledged. The feminine loves to be seen. So we choose to see, acknowledge, and hear our body when it's talking to us. And yeah, build a beautiful relationship from this point forward, that we get to live our lives together, you and your body, like always together, always get to do this life thing together, and can be your greatest friend. So whenever you're ready, you can start wiggling your fingers and toes, start blinking your eyes open. If you feel like staying in the meditation, feel free. You can totally do that too. It's just about whatever feels best to you. What I'll do is I'll start by reading Mary's question, and then Cassidy and Tammy, if you have questions that you want to ask, I'll jump into those. Happy to answer them for you. And okay, so Mary says, the only question I have is, how much time does everyone spend journaling? Is it a daily thing, a weekly thing, or just when you're upset? So journaling is really fluid and changes. In my experience, it changes all the time. I think as women, we can all relate to the concept of anything in our lives having waves. Like, again, we're synced with the moon. We're just like the seasons. We actually have seasons every month. We are always ebbing and flowing in emotion. That's what makes the feminine great, is that it's emotional and the emotions are good. So I would be safe to say that nothing in my life is ever the same all the time when I am being my most feminine. So with journaling, that applies. I have Josh's alarm was going off again. Hold on one sec. Okay. The journaling thing is ever changing. So as things come up, like I said, this week, I've been journaling every single day. If I have a specific thing that I'm working on, then I'm journaling on that pretty consistently, pretty regularly. But I definitely have phases where I don't journal for like a month or a week or something. And I would say usually when I don't journal for a month, it's because what we talked about in the group, which is that like, I know that if I journal, I'm going to have a breakthrough. It's just gonna happen. And I'm like afraid of the breakthrough or something. So then I just like push it off for too long. But yeah, you can journal when you're not upset too. Like that's an amazing thing as well. Like to be able to journal when things are going really well, to amplify it and make things even better. That's a really great practice to have too. So no, there's no set like boundaries for it. I would say that in my day-to-day schedule, the way I set it up, and like I said, I flow, so it's not always the same, but the intention I'll set for every day is that the first thing I do in the morning is set intentions, do inner work, and say prayers and manifest, like thinking about all of you guys and where I want you to be and where I see you being, and like in your highest and best body and like feeling amazing and like doing all these great things. I like to start the day off doing that. And then there's a part in the afternoon that I always set aside to meditate. And I don't always meditate, but that's always the intention. And sometimes that ends up being inner work time. And then less frequently in the evenings, I do like a bath or something where I do like some inner work self-care. It might inspire me to journal, but most of the time in the evenings, I want to like, we usually go out to this like grassy area and play with Jonathan, but hopefully that gives you a feel for the inner work journaling thing. Tammy or Cassidy, any questions coming up for you right now?
Yeah, I have a lot of questions.
Awesome.
Well, first thing that comes up that I kind of want to work through is, so I have been an athlete my whole life.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been considered a tomboy. I had 2 older brothers. I played sports. I cried when I had to wear dresses to go to school. That's just, I served a mission for my church. And, at the time it was, we wore dresses every day. And my mom's like, you have to wear a dress every day. When you were little, you hated it, but that's what I wanted to do. So I did it. But so I'm a tomboy, but internally I want to be so feminine, but I don't know how.
Yeah.
So, but with doing this, it's come up so much that I don't know how to be feminine, but I desire it so much. Makeup's hard for me to wear because, I feel like it's cakey and I'm fake. Being beautiful and spending, 40 minutes getting ready, that's too much, that's too much feminine, it's wasted time. But I want to look pretty. I want to spend time on me, but I just don't know how. Does that make sense?
Absolutely makes sense. Yeah. Like 1,000,000%. Totally. I was totally a tomboy myself, like all the sports, all the, like everything.
Yeah. I watch more sports than my husband. I'm like, are we going to watch this tonight? And he's like, really? Like, it's just, my dad's, sportsy, my brothers were, it's just, and I was good. I was captain of the team. I was a great athlete and I loved that part of me, but I don't know how to be feminine. Yeah.
I mean, like the part where you feel like your soul is like, I want to be like, again, that's your body talking, your body being like, yeah, this is a part of me. Like, this is a part of me that hasn't been expressed, that hasn't felt safe to be what it actually is. And that is hard on the body. That is hard on the body. I'm speaking from experience. Hi. I forgot to lock the door when I turned off Dad's alarm. Do you want to say hi to Cassidy and Tammy and everybody else?
Hi, buddy. Good to see you.
Jay, can you go hang out with Dad? Thanks, babe. Can you shut the door? Thank you. Thanks, Jay. I'm glad you had fun outside. Bye. Yeah.
Slam, slam.
Big slam. Yeah, your soul, your body is like, I want this. Like, I'm so ready for this. This is me. This is a part of me. And you don't have to like swear off, in case you have this question in your mind at all. Like, you don't have to swear off the masculine part of you and be like, if I'm feminine, then I'm not masculine. And like, that's part of you too. Like, that's a part, the masculine part is also part of you. So what you can do is just play with the balance. And this is what I did. So instead of just being like, I have to be completely feminine and I've only been masculine and I have no idea how to do this. And like I was masculine in my business. I was masculine in how I would like dress, walk, talk, pretty much everything. So, feeling like I got to change and just be a totally different person, that doesn't feel good. That doesn't feel good to a body. You don't have to do that. You can just like move percentages. That's what I did, at least. I was like, okay, like I'm mostly masculine. So I'll just start adding little things that are a little bit more feminine. And if that feels good, I'll add more. And if that feels good, I'll add a little bit more. And so, I'm like, it's been really interesting to watch how much better and how much easier my life has gotten since I let in a lot more feminine, because the feminine receives, and it receives from a state of just like natural flow. And a lot of me didn't like quite believe that could even happen or was possible until I started experiencing it myself. I always thought, because I was brought up to be masculine, it was like, I have to work really hard for what I want. I got to do it this way. It's got to be mission focused. It's got to be, driven and get it done in this amount of time and do it like that. And I'll tell anybody that I was always the person who got everything done. You give me an assignment, it's done. You tell me to do it this way, it's done. Exactly how you want it done. But was I actually happy? Was I actually getting results I wanted? No. Like, I was doing all the workouts perfectly. I was doing all the food perfectly. Was my body looking how I wanted it to look or losing weight? No, it wasn't. Because I was missing the feminine element of it. And same with like work, school, everything. I would like study super hard in school, know everything. My mom would quiz me. I'd know all the information, then I'd get the test and I would fail. I'd get like literally failing grade. So, I think that's like, that shows us that sometimes when we are, we want to be feminine, but we're raised in a masculine world, it can lead to those same incongruencies that I was talking about before. We want to be like this, like, ooh, we're going like parallel on the path, like, but really we're like, I think I'm supposed to be masculine about this, and I want to be feminine. My body wants to be feminine. So, I'm
so
really
small doses.
What'd you say?
So small doses at a time, just lean into it.
Yeah, small doses, like anything from, well, okay, I'll tell you this. This is a book that really changed my life, and like I've listened to it on audiobook probably like 10 plus times. I just love it. Don't be thrown off by the name. I was thrown off by the name. Most people get thrown off by the name, and it's like, I didn't even pick up the book for a while because of the name, but it's called Pussy, A Reclamation. And it's by an author, Regina Thomashauer. And it's like, parts of it are like, whoa, like this is new to me, but it is such a beautiful book. And it really, really helps drive home like ideas and thoughts about how to become more of our feminine. And it helps us understand like the connection and like just how powerful like our womb is. So that is an amazing resource. I would say even if you just start that book, that will change so much, and it will like inspire you with different little like ideas on what more you can do.
Okay.
Combo that with the intention to listen to your body and check in with your body as much as possible. It'd be amazing.
Yeah. I mean, that's been a new thing for me with listening to my body. I feel like I got to a point where I shut it down so much that it just stopped happening,
Yeah.
And so it's been really refreshing, like that little voice is coming back, and I'm like, oh, there you are, thank you. And listening to it, and it's been really fun because it is totally here to serve me and bless me.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's been fun discovery.
That's amazing. I'm so excited to hear that, and like it's just beautiful that that's happening. It says a lot about like the space that you've been creating to like open up to let it happen, because you wouldn't even be noticing it if you didn't open that space.
Yeah.
What's up, Jay? Jay's back. Hi. Jay loves being a part of the coaching calls. When he was like a newborn, I would be like recording Voxer messages, and he would be like, "Bye," and be making all these little like noises. Like, are you coaching right now?
Cute.
Yeah.
And so another thing that happened to me yesterday that, anyway, I was just so excited about. So I have an acquaintance friend that is, in my mind, like the ideal body. She's just perfect and so cute. And every time I'm with her, I'm always so uncomfortable because of what's going on in my head of judging, But what I've learned from you and hearing from the other ladies is when I saw her yesterday, I had so much love for her. And I thanked her for her beauty, just internally, not out loud. And it just, like you had said, it made me want to rise up and be, better for myself. And even her presence with me was so, her, to me, she wasn't so standoffish. Like, I always felt she was judging me. But I know that's not the case because that's not who she is. It was my own thoughts. But she was so loving, and when we embraced, her hug was so genuine, and I was like, it was all me. And anyway, I was just so grateful for that, instead of me always feeling like she was judging me and I felt uncomfortable around her. It was a totally different experience yesterday, so that was really good.
Wow. Yeah, like acknowledging you for that, applauding you for that. That's incredible, Tammy. Wow.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's good. That's a good place to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I had like so many visions as you were talking, and like I was just like seeing all of this. Like I was like envisioning what you were describing, and like seeing it, and like seeing you. Like I literally saw your body like changing as you were hugging her. Like, did you feel that at all when you were hugging her? Like you were changing?
And that's the thing. I felt beauty within us and like femininity. I just felt like I've got you, you've got me, Yeah. It was really cool.
Oh, amazing. Those emotions, like that shift of your energy, of your feelings, of your perspective, like that's what changes our bodies. Like that's how weight loss becomes like a thing where our body just goes to that place we want it to go, and it just stays there, and it's just easy and it's effortless. It's because when we do that kind of inner work, like, and feel that feeling, the body can feel safe, and it's like, okay, I don't need the protection that I've put on it anymore. Like I can let this go.
Yeah.
That's so beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, keep us updated on that. I feel like you're going to have many more experiences of that nature, of just like the beauty and the amazingness of it all.
Yeah. I have people coming in and out too.
Nice. It happens.
I know. I have four. They always need to say something.
Yeah. I know. I feel like Jonathan just wanted to like sit on my lap for 1 second and then be like, okay, I got what I needed. Bye. It's kind of like our bodies. Our bodies are like that too. They're like, I just want you to like acknowledge me. And once I'm acknowledged, like, I'm good. But because we're so like untrained to acknowledge them, we're just go push it aside, push it aside, push it aside. And then just like children, like just like us, when we get pushed aside enough times, like is a shit show. And screaming and yelling, and like, our bodies do that to us too. So how about you, Cassidy? Any other questions that are coming up for you before we hop off here? I want to like, just celebrate you, hear questions, whatever, anything is welcome.
Hi. So first of all, Tammy, that was so beautiful. I was just feeling all the things as you were sharing, and I can so relate. And I feel like it's just, I think watching you or hearing your story, I like really felt like it's because you recognized yourself in that, and like you are just seeing your own beauty in her. And like I felt that for myself as you were saying that, like I realized how that experience plays out. So I'm just like giving you a big hug and so proud of you.
Thank you.
Yes. So Steph, I feel like the one thing I'm still like hung up on is like when I get triggered by my body, or I get triggered because like something isn't fitting the way I think it should, or, you know, whatever happens. I'll feel like I still don't know how to process, like I don't know how to like shift out of that. I feel like sometimes I feel like if I just like go to affirmations, or even like just trying to like calm myself down, I guess sometimes that just feels really inauthentic, especially if I'm feeling like really icky. It's kind of like, it almost feels like, well, am I silencing myself, or like what's happening here? So I think my question is just like, what is like the best way to shift when you know it's like old programming, you know it's not like a genuine feeling, and it's just feeling like so all consuming in that moment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so when you have that awareness, there's two main things that I would suggest going to. They're the two things that I go to all the time. One is take a second to listen to your body, to check in with it. You know, you can put your hand on your womb, you can put your hand on your heart and close your eyes and just be like, okay, you're screaming. What do you need? What do you need right now? Like, I hear you, you're yelling at me, I'm not listening, I'm here to listen. What would you like me to know? And then two, dance, like move your hips, like a very like concentrated dance situation. That's another thing I aim to do every day, is like at least like 10-minute block, or like at least two long songs that make me want to move my hips. And I just start moving my hips, and usually I don't want to move my hips, and I'm like, oh, this is the last thing I want to do right now. But then I just start moving, and then like, oh, this feels great. And then I like just really start getting into it. So like the dance session is centered around moving your hips, like hip movements, and as many different directions and like interesting ways you can move your hips. That's where it's at, because that's like that like feminine like chakra power. Like, you know, it's between like the personal power section and like the sexual power, and those are some powerful areas. And usually those are the ones that are like stuck and blocked. So when you get in the closet and you try something on and it just doesn't fit how you want it to fit, and you're like, God damn. Get out your phone, have like those two songs set up for yourself that you know make you want to move. And that makes a difference, because if the song doesn't really make you want to move, it's not as efficient or as effective. And I'm working on actually like having different playlists that I can like just share in each course and program, so that y'all have like go-to songs as I find them. But like put that music on, even especially if you don't feel like doing it, and just like let yourself dance for 5 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes, or longer if you want to go longer. And then, you know, check in with your body and just ask it, okay, what do you need? What have I been ignoring? And the last thing I'll say on that is that if you try and do the check-in with your body first and you feel like you're not hearing what your body wants, dance first. If you check in with your body first and it tells you what it wants, then kind of use the dance as like a opening, a celebration, like a way to just really let the loving vibes flow in. If you don't get it first, use the dance as like a way to just open up enough so you can hear your body.
Okay, yes, that's exactly what I needed. It clicked for me. It's getting into my body and letting it express itself, and letting it actually have a physical release, instead of me trying to process it through my brain and being like, well, no, because I'm not thinking like that anymore. It's this now. Like that was still so suppressive, it's like letting my body like do the physical work. So that connected. Thank you so much.
Awesome. You're welcome. The other thing that I'll do every once in a while when I have something that feels like it's just like really stuck and I'm really, really struggling with it, is like tremor. So I'll like get into this like a downward dog yoga position, and I think of the memory, or like I have the moment if it's like I'm in the closet and I'm trying something on, it doesn't fit how I want, it's really frustrating. I'm like, why is this still happening? Like, I thought I chose to let go of this new belief, like I'm ready to be in that body now. Like get into the downward dog position, and I like bring that up as like big as I can, and I'm just so unhappy. Like, this isn't what I want. This is like, I just let all the feelings be really like big and like gnarly and nasty like they are. And then I like just like let my body like physically just shake. And I'm like, I just let it like release, and it just, it processes through and it goes. And the reason I do that is because animals in the wild, they tremor. Like, I mean, if anybody's ever had a dog and it's like afraid of lightning, or if you know somebody who has a dog that's afraid of lightning, when that dog hears lightning, it's tremoring, it's shaking. And it's not, the shaking is not bad. The shaking's actually good, because that's how it like releases intense, like painful, like scared energy. Humans can tremor, but we don't tremor usually. We usually go, oh, I feel it, ow, and then we're like, can't deal with that. Like, let me store it here, or let me store it there, or let me just, we'll just keep it here for a while. And so if you get into that position and you'll tremor, sometimes you like feel it like release from like certain areas. You're like, oh, okay, like, bye. It's gone. Like, let it go. And sometimes you need to multiple times, but it's also like a good thing to have stored. If you do this, the tremoring thing, just keep in mind that like, be really present with your body. Don't ever like push it to a point where like you strain something or you like pull something. You're not trying to hurt it. You just want to tremor enough that it feels free to like shake itself out, like an animal in the wild would do. Just like, ugh, like, get it out of my body.
Oh, that makes so much sense.
Yeah.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that. Wow. I'm excited to do it.
It's so funny. Like, I mean, I'm just like, oh, I want this to be taught like in school. I want like, kids to learn this. Like, this is so important. So it will be. But yeah, it's fascinating. It works super well. So yeah, enjoy those practices and everything. And I just want to say that I'm so proud of all of you. I'm like really excited for how all of you are showing up. I see how everybody's showing up, and it's powerful. I love how you're showing up for each other. I love how you're showing up for yourself. I love how you're doing the inner work, and you're asking the questions, and you're doing new things, and you're staying open, and you're trying it in new ways, and you're letting things get better and better and better. And like, just remember that the more we do this as a team, the faster it heals, just like everything we're experiencing with the Black Lives Matter movement. Like, the more we join as a team, the more we all get on the same page and move towards the same thing, the faster it goes. So let's do that with everything. And remember that a couple final things. Remember that you deserve support and you deserve someone to help you. Just like a quick offshoot of that is that, like, when I had given birth to Jonathan, I when I gave birth to him, I had a really hard time asking for people's help. And everybody had prepared me, and I prepared myself. I was like, I'm not supposed to do anything except shower and go to the bathroom, and that's it. But I still had a hard time asking for help, even with all of that. So I was in pain, and I did need the help. And I, at times, didn't ask for help when I needed it. So know that you're worthy and deserving of, sorry about the beeping, probably like the Amazon check. I have the windows open. But know you're worthy of deserving of the support, of the help, of the guidance. 2, know that that feminine part of yourself deserves to be seen and shown and is safe. Tammy, definitely journal on, was there somebody in your life? Are there people in your life that you feel like might be like disappointed if you're less masculine or if you're more feminine? Do you feel like, somebody might be upset or hurt by you doing that? And like check in with us in the group if you feel that at all. And then finally, listen to your body. Over everything else, listen to your body, build a relationship with it, know that it's here to help you, support you, and serve you, and love you. So treat it like a best friend, and just be like, if shit gets weird, check in with your body and just be like, body, what do you want? What are you trying to do? What are you trying to say? Like, I'm here to listen. Yeah, amazing job. I love all of you. This recording will be available for everybody, and you can reference it anytime you want. Yeah, I'll talk to you in the group. Have an amazing day.
Thanks, you too.
Thank you.
Thanks, Steph.